As we head into the final stretch of the NBA season after the All-Star break, the Golden State Warriors find themselves in a very intriguing position to make some history once again, as they have the opportunity to not only have the best record in the NBA, but they are also one of the favorites to win the NBA championship. Being one of the most exciting teams to watch this season, and for good reason, the Golden State Warriors aren't done putting on a show, and the scariest part of it all is the fact that this team still has two potential starters out of their lineup who are both highly projected to return before the playoffs start. These two guys aren't just any regular starters either, as it's Draymond Green, a man who is selected to participate in this year's All-Star game, who is also a seasoned vet with plenty of championship experience, and the other is the former second overall pick in James Wiseman, who we still have yet to see a large sample size from him, but nonetheless his potential as a prospect is at a level to be the franchise's center for years to come, and both of these guys are set to play massive roles once inserted back into the lineup. What these two are bringing to the table is something that will clearly make the Warriors virtually unstoppable, especially in the playoffs, and for many reasons. On top of just the pure talent they'd be adding to this roster, it's also just the fact that this will extend the loaded depth that the team has, already being talked about as a top bench unit in the NBA, and this is going to allow for one, the team to ease Draymond and Wiseman back into the lineup, but also two, it has also been proven that Steve Kerr is utilizing this bench as much as possible so far this season to ensure that the stars in this team are rested for big moments, and this in hand will also extend the longevity that some of the top guys on this team can play at if the opportunity to play starters heavy minutes presents itself in the playoffs, and adding Wiseman and Draymond is just going to give Steve Kerr more bodies to utilize to his advantage. Also, only a small percentage of people who watch my videos are actually subscribed, so if you end up liking this video, consider subscribing. It's free and you can always change your mind. Enjoy the video. Draymond Green is and has always been such a crucial player on this team, being the heart and soul of this defense, and he's played such a large role in the decade of success the Warriors have had, as this sometimes gets shadowed underneath the excellence that has been displayed in the Bay Area with Curry, Klay, and KD during his tenure with the Warriors. Obviously, he was playing well enough to be named an All-Star this year, and he was a serious candidate to be the Defensive Player of the Year this season if it wasn't for his injury, and what he brings to this team is surely enough for him to lead them to being one of the best defensive units in basketball, like they were earlier in the season when Draymond was healthy. Draymond Green is the type of player where his impact on the game doesn't show up in the stat sheet, as his defensive intangibles are at a level for a forward that seems to be one of a kind, constantly being in the right place at the perfect moment, being able to communicate with his teammates so quickly and effectively to ensure that they make the right decisions and switches, and it is without a doubt that Draymond Green is the captain of this ship defensively, and the team's stock rises because of it. This is all attached to the fact that Draymond is as perfect of a fit for this team as possible with the offensive liabilities in his game, but because of the pieces he has around him and how stacked the Warriors are, they carry the load offensively, and then he ends up picking up his game defensively in such a way that it more than makes up for it. Draymond hardly forces bad shots, shooting above 50% from the field on the year, and he takes the occasional open three when it's available, but again, he still relies on his teammates to make the plays on offense, and it has been more than working out for the three-time NBA champion. Instead, you'll see him once again do all of the things that put his teammates into the best possible situation to succeed, setting hard screens, getting shooters open, and with his slept-on playmaking ability at the forward position, he has consistently been a reliable point forward on this squad, which has in hand played a massive role in Steph and Klay's and even the rest of the team's development as a unit, as he perfectly assembles all of the pieces together, and on top of this, he's one of the hardest working players on this team, setting an example on how to be great in the NBA. Draymond Green is one of those guys that every NBA franchise wants on their team, doing stuff that doesn't necessarily show up in the box score like I've mentioned, or any highlight reels either, yet his impact on this team has made waves on the Warriors' success, and the team is going to be itching to add him back to the lineup so that he can eventually play up to his championship level standards that we're used to. Now, James Wiseman, this is once again a guy that we haven't seen too much of yet in his short NBA career with the injury he suffered last season, yet he's crawling closer to to his return on an NBA floor, and the Warriors could not be happier to get the former second overall pick back in action to help them finish off the season and have a potentially large role in the playoffs as well. The Warriors currently only have one other true center listed on their roster, which is why the need for the Warriors to get these guys back is so glaring, and what Wiseman is going to bring to the table this year is massive, especially just being that big body presence down low for this team when the Warriors choose to utilize him. Kevon Looney has filled in for the starting spot on this team, and although he has been very solid in his role, it's clear that since he's only averaging just over 20 minutes as a starter, the Warriors don't like to utilize him as much and tend to go with a lineup of smaller talented guards for most of the game. Wiseman would provide the opportunity for Looney to come off the bench, where honestly I think he's going to excel in that role with all of the experience he's gained on this roster, but also just to be a spark plug for this team and will give Wiseman the ability to rest when needed. Wiseman is still a decently raw prospect with how much time he's missed, and the Warriors shouldn't expect anything near his full potential among his return, yet it's not like the team is in need for him to do so. With how talented this roster is, he's still going to play crucial minutes against other teams' star big men, which will prove to be absolutely crucial come playoffs. His potential, in my opinion, is unreal that I have gotten into in some of my previous videos, and as he develops throughout the years, he's without a doubt going to play a large role in the future of this Warriors franchise. He's got the size, he's incredibly versatile, he's got a fantastic group of guys from the top of this organization all the way to the players and coaching staff to ensure that he reaches his max potential. He's shown flashes of stretching the floor, posterizing dunks, the ability to facilitate with the ball, make plays for his teammates, and can even prove to be a strong rim protector as well. Wiseman has got it all to be a future top center in the NBA, and I can't wait to see how his career plays out. The Golden State Warriors have been in desperate need of adding these two to their roster, as they've had an abysmal month of February considering their regular standards of play this season. Still comfortably sitting in the second seed in the West, the Warriors have lost 4 of their last 5 games and are giving up 115.8 points per 100 possessions in February, which is 9th worst in the league. The good news for this team is that they still have one of the most talented rosters in the league, of course, and Steve Kerr even came out and stated that he feels like this recent lack of play is more so just players slipping up rather than their overall ability. This much needed week off for this team is going to do wonders, as it not only gets this team closer to being at 100% with Wiseman and Draymond, it's also just to get the rest of the guys on this team ready for the final push of the NBA season, and I can just tell that they have the ability to absolutely dominate soon. They've had this tremendous amount of success with Steph in the worst shooting slump of his entire NBA career, who not to mention just went crazy in the All-Star game, winning the MVP, scoring 50 points after rubbing it in that he's clearly the greatest shooter to ever live with all of his no-look threes, and this could have potentially woken him up for the rest of the season. And if this happens and the Warriors do get healthy, it's going to be very hard to bet against this team making a strong push for the title, as the pieces around him have looked nothing short of phenomenal as he's been struggling. I've dove deeper into all of these guys in my other videos on my channel that you guys can check out after this, but Klay has still just played 16 games this year and has not yet been back to his regular self, which is on the way the more time he spends getting ready. Wiggins has had the best year of his career. Jordan Poole has been making a case for the NBA's most improved player. Kuminga is living up to the hype, being the team's future, and so on and so forth, as this team has so many more pieces that have stepped up and have proved that they can be relied upon in almost any situation that they get put in on the court. The Warriors have the 7th hardest remaining schedule, so their work will be cut out for them, but this team will be getting healthier and have the chance to push for the #1 seed, especially after the brutal loss the Suns just took with Chris Paul potentially being out longer than a month. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments about this Warriors team. As always, if you did enjoy this video, be sure to give it a like to help it get shared along YouTube's algorithm, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more NBA videos like this one that I will be posting multiple times per week. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a great night.